Well, hi everybody. How you doing out there tonight? I hope you're doing good. Here I'm saying tonight, and it's only 7 o'clock. That's early for me. Anyway, I hope you're all doing fine. Um, I know after watching that one day of testimony, you're probably like me, you're wanting to see all this get started, but now everybody's gone on vacation, which could be a good thing. This is something that didn't need to be rushed through, and they're finding out more information every day. I just found out 10 minutes ago that not only did Mark Meadows want that Jeffery Clark want to be appointed the new guy in charge. They wanted to send out letters to all four of those states and tell them that the votes didn't count, and they were pushing this. There was a plan behind this, which I'm not. I mean, I said that a year before it happened. There was a plan to never turn over the government to anybody again. But and I guess I should be proud of myself for that. I'm not proud that I was right, but I was right. And a lot of you out there thought I was crazy, huh? Anyway, maybe I am. Who knows? We're all a little crazy. But I just found out today that this, which was the one that Trump was going to wanting to appoint as his new attorney general, that Mark Meadows introduced them and hooked them up together. And Mark Meadows, it sounds like already had letters for him to send out to four other states to have them nullify the election so they could have electors appoint who was supposed to be the president in those four states that, the ones that carry all the power because of electoral votes, which needs to be gotten rid of. But it's amazing what comes out every day about this, and what's going to be more amazing is all the American people that won't even know it because excuse me just a minute here, let me get this, make sure this is back down against my skin. If this microphone's not against my skin, it's not working. They just want there was definitely a coup. And there's one going on now with all of them trying to change all the rules and all the changing it where the people that run the state, first of all, putting all Republicans in to run the election board, and then saying that they're the ones that gets to judge on this. So I don't know. If the Biden administration is going to wake up out of la la land and know that, I mean, obviously they know it. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's not stupid. She didn't get where she was being stupid. She knows what's going on. She probably's known for a long time what was going on. But are they going to do anything about it? Are these people, when they go back to Texas, going to get arrested? There's got to be something as a United States that can be done to stop all this craziness. And I don't know what it is, but there's got to be something that can be done. I don't... Anyway, if anybody wants a personal reading, it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. Add your phone number and get a hold of me, and we'll set you up with a reading. That's Gmail, lynntarotreadings@gmail.com, and add your phone number for a personal reading. And I want to thank everybody who's got personal readings. I've really been busy. That's why you haven't seen me. And I was waiting for things to change. I thought they might come back and cancel their recess and get right started on this. But let's hope that they've got everybody that's worth anything working on this all the way through the recess. I doubt it, but let's hope that somebody's taking something serious in Washington. They weren't going to take the eviction notices serious. They were just going to let it slide right by and Biden blame it on, I guess, Kavanaugh's in charge of the government now because of a note that he put at the bottom of his last ruling saying that he didn't think this would work again to delay this or something like this. So I guess Kavanaugh's running the presidency now. And so that's why they said they couldn't just shove this back. But then they, at the same time, and this has not even been on any of the regular channels because heaven forbid that they show that the Justice Democrats are out there not only busting their ass but sleeping on the steps of the people's house to try to keep people from getting evicted. And it did bring the White House's they got enough publicity out of this and enough attention that they used the CDC and says because of them they could do it. But the squad or whatever you want to call them, and what in the heck's her name that's so the new one that's so good? I know I've got her name down here, but I didn't want to. I get off in one direction and I was going to go for that direction, and then I got into this other stuff was breaking right before I got on here. But yeah, Cori Bush. She's been homeless before, and she got some friends from the Senate, most of them the ones they call the squad, and they were literally sleeping on the steps to get everybody's attention to keep people from getting kicked out of their house. And the biggest shame about that is that the money's been allotted to pay the owners of these rentals, especially if they're small owners. But anyway, the money's been allotted and sent to the states a long time ago to get out to these people to pay their rent and to back pay the people that had to go without rent so they didn't lose their properties. And the states have just mishandled it. So I guess it's like, well, like go stick your head in the sand, old man. Well, this didn't get done in time, and there's nothing we can do about it because Kavanaugh says that he wouldn't pass this again. So then all of a sudden, all these people are getting evicted that don't need to be evicted when there's money there to cover their rent and cover the landlord's payments and everything else. It's a mess, and it's a mess we thought was going to help and get taken care of when the Biden administration got in. And I know they found a mess, and I just can't believe there's not that many honest college graduates and people that know something about government that he could have just loaded up people to go in there and straighten all this stuff out. I just keep thinking, and I'm not even talking about Kamala Harris that much because I know she's kept a very low profile during this, but maybe if she would have even been totally in charge, she could have went in there and put people to work and had them doing all these different things that needed to be done because of the mess that Trump left. But anyway, and maybe not, I don't know, but you can't just do things like it was done all your life, by the time you're my age especially, because things change daily. Everything changes out there, and you got to stay up on what the changes are. I can't, but I mean, if I had the people around me that they do in government, I'd definitely be brought up on them every day and want to know what was going on. But that's just my tale. But like I said, I'm just amazed that Cori Bush hasn't been brought up on any of the corporate news channels. And if she has, I'm sure it was in bad, probably wasn't in good taste. It was probably in bad taste, and everybody that's not going to get evicted for the next couple of months needs to thank her for it. And you know, the realtors were just pouring the money, you know, into the coffers, and that's of the Democrats and the Republicans. They wanted this to go. They wanted to get those people out of there and up the rents, and there's a lot of buying and selling going on. A lot of people buying houses individual right now for rent to rent. If they get their way, nobody's going to be owning their own home before this is over. So there's a lot more going on behind the scenes there too than people meet the eye. And Blackstone. That's the big. How much money did they put in there? $11 million. Just recently. Isn't that funny? Just in the last 10 days, they put $11 million into the coffers of the Republicans and Democrats. Blackstone, you know what they are? When I first heard that, I thought of Eric Trump, but no, that's one of the biggest real estate developers there is. So this is what's going on behind that, and everybody that's got a roof over their head needs to thank Cori Bush for coming up with the idea, and her and the people that helped her not sleep. I think they spent 5 nights because they had to sleep setting up because you can't even lay down. You're not allowed to lay down on those steps. But anyway, and from what I understand, it was even pretty damn cold out there. Of course, they had nice sleeping bags and stuff, but it was cold out there. And I guess in Washington, even this time of the year, in the middle of the night, it gets cold. And then there was Nancy Pelosi coming forward. I just gave her a salute in my last one. Nancy Pelosi coming forward and saying Biden didn't have the authority to, I got to put my glasses on for this because I wrote it down, didn't have the authority to cancel student debt. Well, he does have the authority. Barack Obama used that authority to cancel it, and the name of it is the Higher Provision Act. Compromise, and is it sentiment? But anyway, the Higher Provision Act is the name of it. And Obama used that when he went in and canceled student loans for a lot of these phony schools that had charged all these poor people that were wanting to get a higher education. And the schools weren't even certified or anything. So he went in and canceled all that debt with that law. That law is still in effect. It's still legal. If Biden wanted to, he could get up tomorrow morning and cancel all student debt. And whether you agree with me or not on this, that is whether he should or shouldn't. I think he should. I think that put so much money out into I think that would boost our economy so high that it would take off like a jackrabbit. But you know, and then there's the whiners. Well, I had to pay my debt, so they should have to pay their rent. That's like saying, well, I had to be crippled with polio, so why don't everybody else crippled with polio? No, it don't work that way. That's not, have a Christ-like view of this and want everybody to get out of that burden. And of course, the reason they don't want to do it, they're making the high interest off of it, and that's our government that's doing that. So it'll probably never get done. But if Nancy's out there, you know, I heard her made that little speech that even if Biden wanted to, he couldn't because he legally can't do that. Yeah, he can legally cancel it tomorrow if he wanted to. I don't usually ever put out anything to do with hurricanes, earthquakes, weather, or anything like that. But I did have a really weird premonition, and that was here in San Diego when I went to visit my grandson's house. They went upstairs, and because of my bad knee, I did end up going up there after all. But at that time, I decided, no, I'm going to wait down here. And I backed up against the wall and put my head and my back against the wall. and literally experienced an earthquake. It wasn't like the whole building fell down, but I have been in earthquakes that were close to 6, and then standing up next buildings and had them move like that did. It was like the whole wall came over almost all far enough and then it went back. Anyway, it was just for a few seconds, and it was the weirdest feeling. I've had dreams of earthquakes. I used to get dizzy when I was younger and knew when I got dizzy it wasn't normal. When there was earthquakes anywhere in the world, that was when it took, a day or half a day to find out about them. And then I hadn't thought of it or tried not to think of it. I do think of it when I experience dizziness now, but last year I was having vertigo, and sometimes just watch, when you get older, watching the water go down the drain. So I haven't tried to clue into it with earthquakes. But this wasn't dizzy. This was like the whole wall. It was like, I've never had an hallucination, but it was like an experience you'd have if you took some kind of hallucinogenic drug, I guess. I don't know. It was like I experienced it. And that was here in California. In fact, that was here in Santee. I'm not in Santee, but his house is over in Santee. And I didn't even say anything to anybody in my family that night, and I thought about it about a week, and then I told another friend of mine about it, and they said, well, what do you think it was? And I don't know. I think it was that there is going to be some earthquakes pretty strong somewhere in California. I don't know if they're going to be right here in the San Diego area, but they're going to be strong enough where we feel them here. I know an earthquake that happened about 12 or 13 years ago. Didn't hear too much about it because it's centered in Mexico, but it was only about 30 miles from where my house was as the crow flies. It was a lot further than that if you would have had to drive down there. But this was when I lived in the desert down in El Centro, and it's also the far eastern part of the San Andreas Fault that my house was on down there, and that quake hit on. And this up here in San Diego is not San Andreas, but anyway, or San Andreas, I think is how you pronounce it. But I was in San Diego when that quake hit, and it made my daughter's house. I thought all the windows were going to come out across the back, and the whole back of her house is windows. And so anyway, this earthquake or hallucination of an earthquake that I experienced was at least as hard as that is. So I think there's going to be some rocking and rollings in some parts of California. Let's hope that they're not devastating or anything. And I, of course, as far as time, I don't have a clue. And of course, any psychic or anybody psychic skeptic would say, of course we're going to have earthquakes in California eventually. So that's not a prediction. That's just something that happened to me personally, and I guess we'll find out if it's what was going on with that. But it was really quite a real experience, and I really feel like my guides are trying to show me something. I'm not sure. I don't want to think it's an earthquake because it's too close to where I live. So anyway, I need to really cut some of this out because I've talked a lot and I'm just now getting started. Yeah, here. I'm just looking back over my notes of Pelosi running interference for student loan debts for the Democrats, not to get rid of them, just like they use Manchin not to get rid of the 15 minimum wage off that bill. It's amazing how they all work together to protect their donors. But anyway, and I know I've had comments. A lot of you guys didn't like Tina not Tina Turner, Nina Turner, but I loved her. And that's just what we needed, was some more people in there to join Cori Bush and the rest of those ladies to maybe get some more money out of politics, and that's what it would have been. So, you know, Hillary Clinton threw in tons of money, and of course Pelosi and all the Democrats all went against the other person that decided to run on the Democratic side. They were terrified of her getting in there. They're terrified of anybody getting in there that won't just lay down and act like a dog to them. And so anyway, to take Marsha Fudge's place, that Chantel Brown one, and she's got investigations going toward her from giving her boyfriend's business millions and millions of dollars from something she was running there. I know she was the head of the Democratic Party, but from something else she was running. So I don't know for sure what's going on. I mean, if they did a good research on her background, they could have probably ended up putting her in jail anyway, or getting her to resign. But instead of doing that, they all decided to put, and I mean, it was, I heard today, what was it, 20 million or something like that? I can't believe the money they put behind that. When they had the rate, it was in a Democratic place, so they'd have just left Nina Turner alone, she would have won it anyway. And they even came out fighting Nina Turner, saying she was against Medicare for all, and she's never been against Medicare for all. So anyway, it was just really, really stupid, the whole thing. But anyway, she lost, but not by too much. And maybe she'll be back. Maybe some more people like her will be back. I'm going to have to move this microphone. I'm itching. I don't know why I'm itching. It feels like it's cutting into me or something. So anyway, that's what this old lady's got to say about this last week in politics when I haven't been on here. And of course, a lot of you don't agree with me, but some of you do, and the ones that you do is fine, and you don't have to agree with me. But let's see what we got here to... Well, one thing we could ask, because I just found out right before I went on here that Mark Meadows is up to his little ruddy ass in this. So let's find out about Mark Meadows, what's going on with him. This takeover was, looked like he had it planned and set up and even sent the person to influence the president. Not that he needed any influence, but to show him another way. It's really funny because I hadn't heard or really paid that much attention to Mark Meadows, and I guess he's just, like the rest of them, one of the biggest slime balls there. So let's see what's going on with Mark Meadows. A bunch of stuff just got revealed about him. Let's see. Is it bothering him? I don't know what to ask, so let's just see what's going on with him. So what's up with you, Mark Meadows? I'm not going to do very many readings on this video because I've already talked so long. I'm going to have to cut a lot of that talk out, I'm sure, but I don't know how much I can cut out. See if I can make it sound interesting. I love y'all. I think of y'all all the time, and I read your replies and your... So don't forget to subscribe and hit like, and don't forget to write me. I'm trying to think of what that's called. God, I don't know where my head goes. Once I touch these cards, it's like every brain in my head just melts and leaves, and it's just whatever I ask these cards. So we're talking about Mark Meadows. What's going on with you, Mark Meadows? From what they've just found out in the last couple of days, him and that other lawyer, what was his name? Jeffery Clark. That's another one I want to do. But it looks like Mark Meadows and Jeffery Clark were in this right up to their elbows. So let's see what's going on with Mark Meadows first. Are they going to call him in to testify right away? What's going on? Mark Meadows, what's going on with you? You just thought you were going to take over everything, didn't you? You think you belong in power. Definitely had a lot of money put back just recently for something you're planning on doing. Maybe leaving town. Looks like that's all you should be doing, is either get the F out of town or go somewhere where they can't subpoena you, because it looks like your life's getting ready to change big time. Change big time. And this is the foundation of the reading, is Mark Meadows' life is getting ready to change. He was just trying to keep Trump happy and all of his other lowlifes around him. He's going to have to be careful what he says, or he could talk himself right into jail. Look at this. Right into jail. Going to be a lot of arguing. A lot of politicking going on around you, Mark Meadows. You're going to be right in the middle of all this horse crap. Right now, you think you're a star. He still thinks he's going to get out of this, come back, and take power. Maybe he's going to be the star witness. I was asking if they were going to call him in to testify. This could be that he's going to be the star witness after all the fighting's over. Huh. Well, whatever his plans are, wherever he thinks he's at, I don't think he's going to get it there. I don't think he's going to make it there. He still thinks he's just hot crap. He's looking at all the plans and all the money they got laid back to do things exactly like they wanted to do it. He's not going to get to do it. It's the end of the cycle. Very end of the cycle. It doesn't matter what his friends told him or he told his friends. He's going to be very, very lucky if he can just stay out of jail until he testifies, because he's going to try to fight being brought in, but he can't do it anymore. And this is witness. He's going to be the star witness in the partnership and the money. And this is this type of money. This is the paid army. I can't think of what they're called. The mercenary. And he's going to end up going down because he's chained to Trump. So that's the last card. That's the 10th as the devil card. They're going to find out the people they paid off to help them pull this deal off. They thought they had it in the bag there for a while. They really thought they were going to get away with it. So I really think that it's going to come to the surface. Looks like it's definitely coming to the surface. That he's not near as powerful as he thought he was. It doesn't matter how much money he's got back to, he's going down and he's not coming back up again. It doesn't matter who his friends are. He don't have friends in high places anymore by the time this is through. They're all going to start deserting the trip. He'll be lucky if he doesn't end up in jail, no matter how much he tries to fight this. He's going to be the star witness. He's going to make the deals. Talk about the money he got paid. Talk about where the money came from. And that's the money, yeah. He's, it looks like he's going to squeal like a pig. That's what it looks like to me. Looks like as soon as he knows that he's in trouble and he can't get out of it, that he's going to squeal like a pig. Keep seeing a pig squealing. And this pig is cute, I see squealing, so I shouldn't even call him a pig. Not all pigs are cute, though. When they get older, they're not so cute. But anyway, yep, I just see him just squealing. So he's going off squealing. And who's this other guy that he was, this Jeffery Clark. And from what did I also hear correctly that Trump just hired Jeffery Clark to be his lawyer? Or maybe that was somebody else. I'll have to check that out and write it down. But anyway, this Jeffery Clark was the one that was telling his other AG that he was going to get put into his place. And that's when they decided that they would resign first, and Trump kind of backed off of it, thank God. But this Jeffery Clark was the one that had this idea to send these letters out to Georgia, and I guess all these other places, and have them not, anyway, just change all the protocol on the elections. They really did have a plan. And if you think they had a plan then, look at what they're doing now. What they're doing now is just a precise coup forward right in front of everybody. And God, I hope this administration wakes up and sees what's going on and prevents it, does something. While everybody's running around patting him on the back and calling him FDR. It just amazes me. I feel like the man's almost in the dark when it comes to what's really going on around him. Not that he's not saying he's feeble or whatever. He's doing better than I ever thought he would. But there's a bigger picture to this that this man needs to pay attention to. So let's see about this Jeffery Clark. What's going on with Jeffery Clark? Jeffery Clark, what's going on with you? If I'm not mistaken, I think he was working for the Heritage Foundation too as soon as he left there. It's a good place for him, isn't he? Well, he thinks he's smarter than everybody. This is his signifier. He thinks he's just smarter than all the rest of them. But he just found out today, or the last couple of days, that he is going to have to make a decision to crap or get off the pot. They got some kind of proof that he took money. That he had plans to overthrow the election, to help Donald Trump overthrow the election. Even if they needed mercenaries to do it. He was even trying They want him, telling him as soon as we do this, we'll call in martial law before they even rule on this. That's going to come out in the courts. He is worried now. If he wasn't worried till today, he's worried now. Maybe this is picking up immediately. This is the near future. He's going to be laying awake nights wondering, what the F do I do next? Going to be a lot of bickering over how much trouble he's in. And I buried that card and pulled it back out of there again. It looks like Nancy Pelosi is going to call him in. He's going to be doing some answering to her. I hope so. I hope they force this stuff through and don't just say we can't do it. His biggest fear is he knows that what he was doing was wrong. He knows it was wrong. And I don't believe that this is like a love for Trump. I'm beginning to be convinced that they're all fascists. Because this is the outcome. The lovers. That's interesting because it's a lover's card. And I know he didn't love Trump that much. Maybe it's just power and position that he loved. Thinking that he was smarter than anybody else. But he knows he has a decision to make now. He's laying awake nights wondering about the decision. He knows it could be the end of his career as he knows it. He may even lose his law license before this is over. He knows that Pelosi's coming after him big time. And he's hoping that other people's going to fight for him, but those kind of people don't fight for people. Not once they find out they can't help them, they desert them. He knows what he did was wrong. This is not charity. He was trying to steal our democracy. And there was money put behind it. So anyway, that's what's going to go on with those two. I'm going to turn that camera on and off again, and then I'm going to come back and read on a couple of other things. I'm not sure what yet. I'm going to look it up before I sit down so I don't have to bore everybody while I'm looking through it. Anyway, and then you want a personal reading, it's LynnTarotReadings@gmail.com in case this is the only video you watch. And put your phone number in there and I'll get back with you and set up a reading. And God bless y'all. And namaste.